Supermaya essentially helps you create high-performing videos.
It's been almost 5 months since we started writing our first code.
We've done a lot of experimentation on the type of customers that we are building for.
I think that's a very, very relevant point, right? Customization versus automation.
We are delivering real value.
We're very wrong about the timelines.
Anyone who is running paid ads and need videos,
We're still experimenting.
we need to be very conscious about our capital efficiency and survival rate.
So, tech and marketing.
Yes.
If you think video ads are slow, expensive, and creatively exhausting, think again. Today's guests are building what might just be the future of creative production. Meet the founders of Supermaya.ai, an AI powered video ad platform that turns briefs into cinematic, performance driven content at a fraction of a traditional cost and time. Supermaya isn't just another tool, it's a creative OS designed to deliver measurable lift in CTR, ROAS, and turnaround speeds unheard of in the ad world. Built by operators who have lived in the trenches of product and performance marketing, they spent 5 months sprinting from zero to real customers across India, UAE, the US, and Europe, learning what works, what doesn't, and what AI really means for creativity, customization, and scale. In this episode, we peel back the early strategic decisions, missteps, pivots, and open questions that define life in the fast lane of an AI startup group. This is about real founders, real customers, and the messy, exhilarating work of building something that might just reshape how brands tell stories at scale. I wanted to start right at the beginning. How did Supermaya come into being?
So I think Nimit and me met few years back at NinjaGuard when we were both part of the product team. Post that, we had separate journeys, but so I got into AI product and stuff, started building out AI visuals for a lot of brands, started fine tuning models for them, and did a lot of consulting in AI. Nimit had his own share of journey on the marketing side that he can talk about. So when we both met, we thought we used to discuss a lot about what are the problem areas in each of our spaces, and then we thought, and so he was into marketing automation, into performance marketing, and I was into AI visuals, right? So we saw a lot of synergy there, like where we could create fairly high quality visuals and make it high performing as well. And that's the sort of genesis for Supermaya. I think Nimit can elaborate on his part.
Yeah. So, as Sudhanshu said, I've spent years working with brands, performance marketing, and creative workflows. So, I repeatedly saw how inefficient and slow video experimentation was, especially when performance team needed fast iteration. And as AI models matured, it felt like the right moment to directly connect creative generation and performance outcomes. So, yeah.
Okay, so the pain area that you guys identified was that everybody needs videos to perform on social media for their digital marketing needs, and the iteration or the production of it needs to be much, much faster than it is now. And alongside the costs need to be brought down. Now, if you had to explain to me Supermaya in one line, what would that be?
Supermaya essentially helps you create high performing videos which will feel cinematic and at a fraction of cost that you are fraction of cost and time that you are currently building.
Okay. And how long have you been at this?
It's been almost 5 months since we started writing our first code.
Oh, wow. So in 5 months, how many customers?
So we have got a couple of customers, right from let's say big brands to certain governments that we have started working with, to D2C brands, and this is spread across the globe, right from India to some in US, in UAE, and Germany. Doing a lot of value experimentation and still finalizing the kind of group of customers that we want to target. So early stages, but great validation till now.
Now, 5 months in, I would say you're possibly seeing more success than other startups do at the 5 month, 6 month mark because you have paying customers. But what are some of the things that are very, very relevant for you at this stage? And what are and I'll ask the second question later. What are some of the things that are very relevant to you at this stage?
Uh, so I'll talk about the product part, and Dimit can talk about his side of things, which is around GK1 customers. So What we have seen is we've done a lot of experimentation on the type of customers that we are building for, right? So let's say when we started building for D2C customers. So they had their own specific things of specific set of things that they wanted us to build. Then we went to a slightly larger org. Then we went to people who needed bulk videos, like we needed videos at scale. And so there are this very different set of requirements that we got. And what we realized was the ratio of value versus effort, right? Like
Hmm.
what, how much value can we give with minimum effort? That is what we have realized, and that is the type of clients that we have started chasing now. Uh, from a relevancy POV, that's the segment that we have got. From a product POV, we have prioritized all those features for those set of customers and have started building out that. And because of that, we have seen greater traction in the last 1.5 2 months, right? Apart from that, because we are also building a foundational layer on top of this, uh, we have started doing early experiments, and just now, like within a week or so, we have started seeing early results, where the videos that we used to deliver earlier versus videos that we are delivering now has seen a slight uplift, right? Uh, so that's something that we have found relevant right now.
Yeah. So just to add, we have already moved past the initial MVP phase
Hmm.
and are in early rollout with a small set of beta customers. Our core product is very much working. We are delivering real value, and we are starting to see um, early revenue through a mix of pilot and service based model.
Hmm.
Uh, our major revenue at the moment is coming from the service based, and since we'll be rolling out our product in the market in the February month,
Hmm.
um, let's see how it goes. But right now, our focus is majorly on tightening execution, learning from our real customers, and setting up the foundation for the next phase of growth.
I know that it is still early days, but I also understand that in this phase, everything moves really fast and things change really fast. What were some of the things that you thought would be true, but very quickly realized is not relevant?
Okay, I think from a product POV, uh, of course, like it happens in every startup, we were very wrong about the timelines for the MVP. Uh, we thought the first phase of product would be ready in like 2 months or so, right?
Hmm.
Like given the lot of new AI tools that have come in and like the increased pace of development, right? But we were very
Hmm.
wrong about it. Like to roll out a product in market, you cannot just, let's say, create something with AI and launch it. Like you need a lot of stuff around it. And even those increased productivity with AI, you still need some basics in place, right? Right from, like, let's say, doing due diligence on payments or billings, on, let's say, errors, logs and stuff, right? So that took us nearly 2x of the initial timeline that we had planned. Uh,
Hmm.
so that's from the product POV. From GTM, I think Nimit can elaborate on the early experiments that we did and finally found out the set of customers that
So
we have now.
yeah, so I've spoken to a wide range of founders, marketers, agencies, and e-commerce teams. We have run pilots with where we initially delivered work manually and gradually automated it,
Hmm.
which helped us understand the real expectations around quality and especially turnaround time. We thought we'll be able to deliver really quick,
Hmm.
but we realized that um, it was taking just double or triple the time of what we were committing to the clients initially. So this is one good learning from what we expected and what we realized later on. And
Hmm.
regarding GTM, I feel GTM is still very much evolving, considering we are very much bootstrapped. We are trying to figure out a way to acquire our initial 50 to 100 paying customers without burning money or paid ads, and doing
Hmm.
this very much efficiently, which initially we didn't really think about. So all these things are something which we are still figuring it out and learning on the way.
So, what you guys have covered is very external focused, external looking, product focused areas, right? Internally, when we think about starting a business, there are things that we feel would be relevant between the team also, how you hire, have you hired? I'm not sure that you hired yet, but how you're thinking about pricing, how you're thinking about the business of running a business. What have been some of the learnings there?
So from our team POV, to start with, like we do have a team today. Like we have a team of 10, half of it being the tech team, right? So uh, the hiring majorly came in from the people that we have worked with, right? Like because we needed people that with very high accountability and the people that we can trust with initially, right? So we hired from the initial sort of people that we have worked with, and it has been a great experience so far with it, right? So apart from that, because we have worked in very high growth, like hyper growth startups earlier, we've seen that journey. Like even if you start, let's say, we have gone through this 0 to 1 journey like multiple
Wow.
times earlier, right? So we knew certain things, certain basics, but because this being a new area, and you sort of what like this is a new AI wave that's going on, right? Like so, rules have changed. You need to be, let's say, 3x or 4x faster. You need to move 3x 4x faster than you used to do earlier. So we have sort of built certain structures around it to move that faster. The what we would have done probably 6 months from now, we are doing it currently, right? Uh, so in that way, things are slightly different. Because we are a bootstrap startup, right? So it certainly comes with certain limitations. We cannot, let's say, experiment freely today in terms of GTM, or let's say hiring more people, or let's say spending on tools to move faster, right? That has its own benefit though. Like we whatever resources we have spent really judiciously to do it right. And so all in all, very good uh like very good ROI experimentation that we have done till now. Like let's say this is your budget for 6 months. Do whatever you can to prove that there's a space in the market that you can crack, right?
So these are the things that have worked well. What are parts of the business that you're still actively kind of figuring out? You mentioned ICP is one. What else?
I think majorly GTM is something which we are still figuring it out, considering, as I said earlier, we are bootstrapped. So, um, acquiring 50 to 100 paying customers efficiently without spending money or on paid ads
Hmm.
is something which we are still figuring it out. Um, Apart from this, we are also refining how much customization versus automation customer really wants, and where should we really draw boundaries early so that our product stays scalable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a very, very relevant point, right? Customization versus automation, because I'm assuming that in India, and I don't know how relevant it would be internationally, but in India, someone wanting for you to do everything so that they don't have to lift a finger might be high on all your clients' expectations. So, how do you counter that when you want to go into a product mode?
So that's a very tricky balance that we're doing right now. It's like for customer, let's say having a X number of orders versus a customer having X by 10 number of orders. That's where we're trying to balance it right now. Uh,
Hmm.
but at the same time, we are finding out those common paths which we can automate, and let's say deliver 90% to the client, and where the rest of the 10% could be either covered by us or by them. And so we are trying to do this with multiple customers, at the same time also trying to push in some of the automations that we have done, seeing if it works or it doesn't work, right? Uh, so yeah, so I think in the next 6 months, we'll be doing a bit of both. Like we
Hey.
obviously we focus would be on the product side of things, but
Hmm.
understand the customer more and the nuances that again would go into product. We would be still doing a bit of managed services to understand the market and the customers, and eventually, obviously, it will move towards 100% being a product.
Got it. And you mentioned that GTM is something that you're working on. You are still right now understanding customers. Now, there's again in that also there is one is that okay, how much marketing can I spend on so that people come to me directly? But when you are trying to figure out your ICP, Are there any paths or were there any kind of tricks or rules that you applied to that worked well for you?
At the moment, anyone who is running paid ads and need videos are our ICP.
Hmm.
We haven't really started narrowing down our ICP. We should be doing it, but we feel we are still very early. We got couple of clients, all are from different background. One is a big marketing agency, one is a media house, one couple of clients own their own apps and need video ads for promotion of their apps. Few are D2C brands. So at the moment, all our clients are from different categories. So we are not really sure who should be our ICP. We feel when we have close to 100 to 120 clients, then it would be wise to narrow down our ICP and then um move our GTM towards it.
So that's very interesting because whenever one kind of reads up or listens to whatever information is out there and you're thinking of starting up, mostly it is suggested that you start with a niche and you focus on that niche. What made you go about this differently?
We didn't know the niche, right? It's a new market. So you need to find the niche. So that's where you need to be open to ideas coming from different clients and different customers, different set of areas. And then once you know that, let's say this are the kind of customers giving you the most value and you are giving them the most value, that's where you find the niche, right? So that's what we are doing. We initially started with a niche actually. We went straight after D2C brands. Then we realized that's probably not the market that we should just be focusing on right now. Then we expanded, and then we started seeing the success there. Like we started seeing more leads coming in, more videos being created, revenue started flowing
Hmm.
in. That's why we like expanded our zone. We went after all of these
Hmm.
clients. And now we are again realizing that probably out of all of this experimentation that we did, these are the set of areas, these are set of clients that are giving us the most value. And our product probably sits best in there, in that zone, right? So eventually we'll find the niche. And once we have verticalized, we probably will again go horizontal with more products for different areas. Yeah.
I want to add one more thing
Yeah.
here. So since our ICP is not very much defined at the moment, it is of course defined, but not very much narrowed down. We even tried to reach out to couple of government and big public organizations.
Hmm.
Somehow they seems very much interested, and we started um, one of our project with MP government and few other governments also
Hmm.
to help them spread their different public schemes to rural areas wherein they cannot really read, but
Hmm.
they can actually listen and see and then understand and grasp what this government scheme is all about, right? So we
Hmm.
are experimenting with multiple governments on this front as well. So again, point is, at least in our case, we are not really able to narrow down our ICP yet. We are very early, we feel, for that.
So I would assume that when you start thinking about profitability or you start thinking about how you're going to make money and all of that, it would the government projects would give you prestige, it would give you data, but it will possibly not be the most profitable way to go. And this is an assumption. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So, other than the like, how do you think going into projects which are not in your ICP help you? Does it help you refine the product more? Does it help you understand what you really want to do? How does it help you?
So I think both ways. So one is obviously because we are bootstrapped, so we are looking for areas where revenue could flow in.
Hmm.
Governments seem like a good area where even though it would take some time to crack it, but it would give us a steady flow of it's like it's essentially a contract that would give us steady revenues, right? So that's one. Second is we thought that's an open space for us to try and see if that's a space that we can crack initially. Of course, apart
Hmm.
from the steady revenue. Uh, Also, it was interesting for us to experiment and see if those are the sort of customers that, let's say, others haven't captured yet. Like, for example, uh, it probably other D2C brands, people have still started using other AI tools, right? Even though not straight competitors to us, they've still started using. But the AI adoption in the public institutions is still very less. So we thought could be one of the first ones to go and make that adoption happen. So that's how the thought started. We we are yet to see, let's say, a good level of success there. Uh,
Hmm.
but hope like we're hoping that this directions that we have taken would give us some result in the next few months. We have like what initiated multiple talks with multiple public institutions at the same time, because this would take time. And yeah, they were still sort of like waiting for the initiation to happen, where you start getting those results of the first that we started.
Just to add to what Sudhanshu said, since we are bootstrapped, we need to be very conscious about our capital efficiency and survival, right? So, most of our decisions are very much driven by data from our early customers, whatever revenue we are making from
Hmm.
these clients, revenue signals, and operational constraints, right?
Hmm.
So, we are also factoring out how quickly we can learn without overcommitting our resources too early.
Hmm.
Uh, if the outcome is not revenue driven, at least for now.
Yeah, I think, I mean, it's a great gap that you guys have identified. And, while you guys were talking, the thought that came to my head was that the best thing that would happen with it is that at least you start seeing what kind of videos are actually working. It gives you a lot of feedback and information to see how to kind of build up the foundational model if, even if there is nothing else coming from that. So, from that aspect, it makes a lot of sense. Plus, of course, being like Sudhanshu mentioned, you get recurring revenue.
So apart from that, the type of customers that these videos serve is slightly different from the type of customers that we have built for. For example, like if we're doing it for a D2C brand, the customers would be, let's say, a tier one urban customer, right? Versus if we are creating a video for a Ladli Behna Yojana, like it would be not even, let's say, a tier two or tier three. It'd be like a customer from a village that would be seeing the video, right? So that is also interesting data for us to understand what sort of market exists there. Uh, are
Yeah.
like if they are able to receive and understand what is coming from an AI video in the same way that they were
Mm.
doing with other sort of videos.
Yeah, yeah. From a data perspective, I think it will be really helpful. So this is this is the story around what's happening in GTM, what's happening in your product. What are some of the things that are immediate needs that you're going to address, or what are the questions about the business that are still open for you guys?
So I think because we are very early in the product journey, uh,
Hmm.
we're still trying to understand what part of the product makes sense right now from a business POV. Like for example, we are doing some pricing experiments right now, right? Like starting from as low as, let's say, $10 to $200, right? And it's not just per video call. It could be like a set of balance, or like a combo sort of thing that we could be offering to customers, right? So
Hmm.
uh, now we're still experimenting uh, at what price point, what sort of customers are comfortable with, and what exact part of the product are they paying for. For example, let's say we have 6 steps, right? Where is they spending the most time on, or like what is the exact step that they seem to be most happy about, or what is that one thing
Hmm.
that comes out of our product that no one else is able to deliver, right? So these are all sort of
Hmm.
experimentation that we are doing right now. This is still an open question, that the type of videos that we are making, is it the right kind of video to scale up and let's say create a type of company that we are trying to create, or is it, let's say, some other kind of product or videos that we should be focusing on, right? So even though the core uh, cinematic AI video remains the same, there's still very
Hmm.
nuances in the type of videos that would be created. Like for example, there are product spec videos, or there are UGC videos, there are this
Hmm.
cinematic AI ads, so there are musical ads, right? Like so different kind of videos. As a small team, you could focus only on so much, right? Like you cannot clear all of those. So that's something that we are still figuring out. That considering that the type of scale that we want to reach in the next 12 months, what's the exact sort of exact type of or types of videos that we should be focusing on, right? Apart from few other things around the product itself that would bring most value to the customer. Uh, this from just the platform POV. Apart from this, because we are creating gain the foundational model around it, right? So a lot of research aspects that we are also trying to figure out. Considering it's a big ask to create a model with such limited resources. So we're
Absolutely.
still, yeah, so we're still trying to figure out what part of this the model is something that we should be creating and which can deliver the most value right now to the customers.
Yeah. Plus, we are still figuring, we are still learning what true PMF looks like at scale and how customer behave once the product becomes self-served, right? So since we haven't really rolled out our self-served product yet, we are yet to know how the customers are gonna behave on that front. Another question is how to balance product and services in our early stages
Hmm.
without slowing down our long-term vision. We want to we prefer that most of our customers are on our self-serve product,
Hmm.
but at the moment, we also very much care about the revenue which comes through our service model.
True.
So these are something which I think time will answer.
So overall, which business model gives you the most efficient way to way to profitability? That's the question that needs to be answered.
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally. And if we were to tie all the parts of the conversation that we've had till now, the moment that there is clarity on what kind of which one would come first? Tell me. The moment that there is clarity on what kind of customers you're serving, that will also define what kind of videos you're making, or the other way around.
Very early for that actually, because
Hmm.
there are market gaps that we're trying to address with our product. Like we could also start creating UGC videos, but there are like hundreds of companies doing that. Versus what we are able to do today, very few companies are able to, very few products exist that do it today, right? So we're still trying to find out if there's a large enough space for the market that we are in right now, versus the other
Hmm.
market where we see that there's is an obvious market, but there's obvious competition out there, right? So
Yeah.
sort of a chicken egg, but hoping to close that loop in the next 2 months.
What do you think needs to happen for you to be able to make those directions?
I think we want very much clear signals around our ICP and the exact use cases where we deliver the most value.
Hmm.
Um, we are also looking for clarity on which part of products are very much essential versus nice to have based on real customer behavior. And I
Hmm.
think that will give us the right direction to what you asked.
So, like I said in the beginning, right? We are hoping that this conversation helps someone who is about to start. Now, we've also identified that you guys are in a sweet spot where you have customers or you have customer interactions, and you've tried kind of found some inroads with different kinds of customers. If someone was to start something in AI today, or anything for that matter, um, and all of these unknowns were still there, what would be the first thing that you will say, okay, fix this, and then everything else will kind of fall into place?
I think this also holds true for us when we started. Finding more than one paying customer for what we are building is very important. Like one customer you would obviously find who can pay you for something that you're making, right?
Hmm.
Finding multiple is the first step of validation for whatever you are building. Now,
Hmm.
it should, because with AI, again, like the second point is like with AI, it's very easy to build stuff today, right? So it should also tie around some of the work that you have done or you are passionate about, or you feel you could spend the next few years doing it, right? So that's also a very important stuff today, because unlike let's say 2 years back, uh,
Hmm.
you could build something in a month, and if you're able to
Hmm.
do that, others can also do it, right? So so both of it is very important. Like having a validation in terms of revenue or like paying customers,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
doing something that you can actually spend some good amount of time building it.
I feel if anyone is starting out, the more people he'll talk to, people here are potential leads or potential users.
Hmm.
If you are able to talk to as many as people you can, and I feel that should give most of the answers and direction for someone to build in AI world these days, because there are lots of product available and on a daily basis,
Hmm.
lots of tools are coming in.
Hmm.
Whatever you're trying to build, it will anyway be copied and can easily be built if
Hmm.
you have the right insights from your potential customer, what are their actual pain points, then
Hmm.
it would be rather easy for anyone to uh, build something.
So tech is no longer the moat. Execution and customers are.
Tech is a moat, like, but uh, I think uh, you cannot just create a basic dashboard and call it a moat today anymore. It needs to be a lot more beyond that, right? Like if you're especially building something in software, uh, a basic dashboard is was never a moat. It's no longer a moat today. Uh, you could build a lot of layers on top of it. You could do a lot of verticalization on top of it. That would give
Hmm.
you some moat, but again, it's still not a moat today. Distribution again is the largest moat today. But if you
Hmm.
move beyond hardware, if you move beyond software into other areas, I think with AI you could build a lot of moat in specialized areas that were not existing earlier. For example, in hardware, right? A lot more verticalization is possible today with AI versus what was possible, let's say, 2 years back. Uh, like for example, if you take a EV or EV
Hmm.
battery, right? For example, with AI, lot more areas have opened. Let's say in material science, let's say how the circuits are being and stuff. A lot
Hmm.
more teams
Hmm.
can get into it
Hmm.
versus 2 years back, where this whole thing was a lot more harder to crack itself, and it used to, like, before being a moat, you would not survive. Today, you can survive and create a moat in that same time, which was not possible earlier.
I don't think I entirely agree, Sudhanshu.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Because, like you said, with AI, not only is it easy for me to build something beyond a basic dashboard quickly, it is also easy for anyone to build it, right? You don't necessarily need to come from a tech background. You can learn on the go and you can kind of help and build it. So just technology doesn't really kind of give you that edge. Even in your case, for instance, I mean, given how you guys kind of came across and you've worked in the industry, you understand the industry, so that experience definitely gave you an edge over, let's say, someone like me who hasn't worked in that industry and doesn't understand it as well, right? So the question that I'm asking is that, or the statement that I was making was that it's not just technology that will get you beyond. It is about having a deeper understanding of how the industry in itself works, whichever whichever industry you choose. In addition to AI, whichever industry you choose to apply the AI in, your understanding of it and how fast you can execute. That's what
True.
I think is the case.
I think the point that I was coming across is it was already difficult to build a moat earlier, like in tech. Now with AI, creating the tech has becoming easier, right? But in certain sectors where surviving the first part and creating the moat was already difficult, now with
Hmm.
AI, it has created enough verticals where you can start creating moat, which was not possible earlier. This is not true for most softwares, but it is true for other industry. Let's say physical hardware industry, right? That's sort of started becoming true. In few years, in another cycle, that would also start becoming less true, like it is now for software, right? Like or for an app or a website.
All right. And if you were to look back at this phase, let's say 12 months from now, like you said, you have a 12-month window. What would you want to have moved forward first? Like, what's the first thing that you want to solve right now?
I think we definitely want to have a sizable number of paid customers giving us a good validation of the product right now. That's
Hmm.
something that we want to move really fast on. I think because we do have a aggressive 12-month target that we want to achieve, parallelly building the product and a few other stuff, we would definitely want the fundraise process to go uh, faster. right? So that's that. And as Amit told, from a ICP POV, we would also want to close the first set of ICPs that we want to target, uh, and build, like, do a verticalized approach to it. So that's something that we are doing it actively, but we want to move much faster in those areas.
Plus, just to add a few things, ideally we would also have a sharper narrative around who we serve best and be better prepared for the next phase of growth. So this is also something we'll want in the coming months.
And if I was to combine those two answers, you want to be prepared for growth, you want to understand your ICP, and you also want to raise funds. Do you have some amount of clarity, and however you would like to answer this question, but do you have some amount of clarity as to what that fundraise does for you?
Yes, absolutely. As I told, like,
Hmm.
so what we have done is, like, based on this early experiments and stuff, we have a defined target that we want to reach, considering the market, considering how others are moving fast and how fast we want to move, and the type of products that we want to create, the type of space that we want to capture, right? So based on that, we do have backtracked and realized this is what we need in the next 6 to 12 months. For that, we again have done all sorts of calculations to uh, find out what sort of funds do we need. So again, like, majorly part of the fund would go into the tech and building out the model and the infra, uh, and on, again, on the GTM side, because we we're seeking to be a global company here, right? Serving global customers. So again, GTM would also take a large part of the fund. Uh, all of this to do at a scale that we want to do in the next 12 months needs a slightly higher than usual rounds that you see at this stage. So yeah, that's what fits into our calculations.
So, tech and marketing.
Yes.
In my experience, whenever I was speaking to them, the first raise, if you go and if you ask people, if you ask investors that I want to raise money for marketing, the response that you generally get is, if you're raising money for marketing, that means that your PMF is not done. You don't understand how your customers will pay because you're going to take my money and you're going to put it in a black hole that is Google and Facebook and hope that enough comes back. So marketing is not really a fundraising exercise. It is using someone else's money to try and figure out everything else. Do you agree?
I think Nimit can answer like for that, but, like, just adding a point here. It's not exactly that we're taking money from investors and spending on ads, right? So that's what
Hmm.
most companies do. What we're trying to do is, as I told, like, we are experimenting with a lot of areas, and being a global
Hmm.
company, we would need to see where our product performs, right? So that's slightly different from, let's say, spending aggressively on ads and just scaling up like that. So the sort of approach that we are trying to take here is, we do have some early ideas on where our product fits. We want to double down on that and make sure that those are the areas, right? And for certain markets, that cost might be higher than, let's say, India or some other
Hmm.
markets, right? So those are the kind of money that we want to spend on if we go and spend on GTM. Um, of course, apart from that, majorly the fund would be spent on the tech and model side of things. But yeah, from a marketing POV, we don't think we'll be spending very aggressively on ads. So that's something that, as a value that we follow in the company, not doing unnecessarily spending, because we are a bootstrap company, right? Like, we want to scale this up uh, with with uh, with having decent ROI ratios that we have right now, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, see, of course, being bootstrapped, one of the things that funding also does for you is just gives you like a space to breathe, right? It's not like every day you're fighting every day. And I hear you that other markets might require more or different kind of expenditures on marketing. But yes, I think in my opinion, I would still hold that fundraising is not for it's not for using funds on marketing. It has to be a little bit more thought through than just that.
I think there's another angle to it. If you see the kind of spending that is happening in the AI field, right, and the decreased length of developing the products, you need to attack the market from both sides, right? You need to create the products very fast, but you
Hmm.
need some slight push in terms of funds to actually get into the market fast, right? So if
Fair.
let's say if your competitor is a company who has $200 million in funding and spending
Hmm.
aggressively in the market, uh,
Hmm.
even if that's not a direct competitor, they can still come into your field, right? So you need to go out and like push in terms of funds to carve out that space, initial space. So that's where you need those initial funds for us. Uh, Once you have done that, you've created enough space to navigate there, right? So I think it was not true earlier. Like it was true to some extent if you consider ads, but in this space and today's AI age,
Hmm.
considering companies have raised upwards of like 100 millions or so in this space, right? It's super important that you go out, capture market fast.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Gives a good picture of what you guys are doing. Gives me helps us understand where you guys are today, and also thank you for sharing what your future plans look like. I think it's a good place for us to pause. Thank you so much, Sudhanshu and Nimit, for sharing so openly about what's going on and being so open about the questions. And I wish you guys all the best.
Thanks a lot,
Thanks,
Neha,
thanks
for
a lot
like for having us,
for
and
hosting.